Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is good old MF Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. And gentlemen, we're just going to dive right in. We're going to lead it off with Smackdown Live. And guys, tonight we started it off with one of the highly coveted matches of the evening for the Intercontinental Championship, as it was AJ Styles versus Grand Metalik. As everybody knows, Grand Metalik won last week a fatal four-way to get to this title match this evening. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 14 minutes and 25 seconds, and still the Intercontinental Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles. This was a really good match. This was an amazing battle. I got nothing bad to say about this. This was easily 3.5 to 4 stars. You could even make an argument that this was the fight of the night. This was an excellent matchup. We knew this was Grand Metalik's great big moment for him, but AJ definitely he worked. Basically, AJ thought this was probably going to be an easy victory for him, and it turned out to be one hell of a battle for him. A big fight, to say the very least, for him. He really had to work to get the victory here. And Grand Metalik, first time out on, in a major title match and the most meaningful match, Anthony, you said about in 4 years, and he delivered. This was an excellent match for Grand Metalik. I got nothing bad to say for his performance. Hats off to him, and hats off to AJ Styles. This was a banger to jump off SmackDown Live. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is all yours, my friend.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. Yes, you brought it up. First big match for Grand Metalik in 4 years since he was in the finals of the Cruiserweight Classic when he went up against TJP and lost to TJP in an amazing bout. But Metalik is immensely talented, which led to a fun match throughout. 3.5 to 4 stars. But unfortunately, there is a nitpick I have to do here. However, there was no drama at any point in this contest. This was about establishing the Phenomenal One as greater than anyone else on Friday Night SmackDown. Based on the setup, it is possible fans will also get a chance to watch AJ Styles against Lince Dorado. And that should be equally good for wrestling quality. But no one will buy that the Luchador can win. The Phenomenal One needs a real rival again soon. And if the dirt sheet that came out this past week is any indication, oh my. If the rumor going around is true, and they do that, rumored match from the dirt sheet, oh my. That's all I'm going to say on that. So that's all there is to say on this, really. So I agree with MF's rating, 3.5 to 4 stars. Great matchup. Even with the lack of drama, it was still a great matchup. So nothing really more to say. Phenom, Michael Bullock, come on in. AJ Styles successfully defends against Grand Metalik. But come on, did you really think that AJ was going to drop the belt to Grand Metalik tonight? I certainly didn't.
I didn't think so, but it definitely would have made for a great shocker, no doubt about it. But anywho, yeah, this was 3.5 to 4 for me. I mean, this was definitely a very good matchup. Definitely a good way to kick off Friday Night SmackDown, and I think they're going to have bigger, better things for AJ Styles when it comes to SummerSlam and the Intercontinental title, and that's when we might get that drama that Florio is looking for. So we'll just have to wait and see who it is. So there's really nothing more to add to it. So let's just move right along, Fletch.
All right, and the next thing that we had right after that match, we had was King Corbin going one-on-one with Drew Gulak. Corbin wins the match in 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Anthony Florio, I think we can say this was the perfect cool-down match after a pretty red-hot start.
and there's no one better to serve in that cool down role than King Corbin, or as Bullock and I like to call him, King Bleakface. But anyways, it seems that Corbin needs to be involved with everyone on SmackDown. In particular, his interaction with Jeff Hardy made no sense. He is feuding with the original Bro, Riddle, who has no connection to the charismatic Enigma. Hardy also does not have a connection with Gulak, Corbin's opponent for the night. Corbin versus Gulak was fine, but the two lacked chemistry. It was clearly tough for them to find a rhythm, leading to more singular moves and sequences. Chad Gable certainly has chemistry with Corbin, but can that translate to a team dynamic? It remains to be seen. At least Gable is doing something. Maybe he could even get a name change soon and get rid of that whole Shorty G thing. If this was a heel turn on his end, then I don't think Shorty G has a ring for a heel. So I really don't know. But all I do know is this was, a meh fight here. I'm going to give it 2 stars for the effort. So really nothing more to say. Bullock is yours.
Two-star match. I mean, cool down fighting, which is definitely what you needed here. So,
Yeah, great. Yeah, but it could have been better. But yeah, so Florio pretty much touched on it. So I really got nothing more to say. So Fletch, it's yours.
Perfect cool down match. Two stars for me. Really nothing more to add. Next up we had was Big E. Finally, a singles competitor. As many of you guys know, of course, Xavier is out. He had an ACL injury. He's been out for over a year now. Kofi announced a couple of weeks ago that he needed surgery. He was going to be out for 6 weeks. So Big E is now on his own. Goes up against The Miz and beats The Miz by submission with what they're calling the stretch muffler. So, Michael Bullock, it's all yours, my friend. Big E looked good in his, re-debut or his re-emergence as a singles competitor.
What was the time of the fall, Fletch?
14 minutes.
Man, I mean, I'm going to give this about 3.5 for the effort here. I mean, the outcome to me was no doubt, but the way Big E won was surprising. I mean, I thought it would be with the big ending that he normally puts his opponents away with, but man, winning it with a submission. So yeah, I mean, this is the first big step for Big E now that he's a singles guy again. So who knows? Maybe bigger and better things could be coming for Big E. Maybe this could be the guy that could maybe get a future shot at the Intercontinental Championship. Because let's not forget, guys. I mean, Big E. I mean, he's once held that title. So maybe he can get another run with it now that he's a singles competitor again. Well, so we'll just have to wait and see how everything goes with that. So 3.5 stars for me. I mean, I never would have thought Big E would win it with a submission hold. I mean, I'm sure you didn't expect the same thing too, Fletch.
No, absolutely not. And I'm actually going to go as far to call it second best fight of the night. Big E looked really good in, a reemergence in the singles competitor. Looked really good in the ring tonight. The Miz was a good opponent. They worked pretty well together. And I gotta say this was a really entertaining match. It was a little longer than I think we expected it, but nice win, big win. I think they really did Big E a major service here. I think he is now a legitimate contender, in the singles competition. And I think these next 6 weeks, it's going to be very interesting. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with Big E making a run here. I don't know if he's going to be a champion. I don't know. But it's good to at least see him away from the New Day. You know, let him be his own guy. I like it. Nice first step, to say the very least. So, Anthony, it is yours.
What's your rating for the match?
3.5.
3.5. Okay. 3 1/4, 3.5. I agree with the rating here. It was fun to watch Big E go all out again in the ring. He absolutely has the tools for a major singles run. Adding the stretch muffler as a submission finisher gives him versatility and signals that he is now ready to move beyond a tag team role. Miz is well suited to put him over. The two men have chemistry and history. Miz and Morrison are single stars and an impressive tag team, so they can help the big man transition naturally until he is ready to challenge champions like Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion AJ Styles, or perhaps even Universal Champion Braun Strowman. But for right now, 3 1/4, 3.5 stars. Another one of the fights of the night for sure. Sleeper fight of the night. I'll even call it that. I mean, I didn't really expect much in this. I didn't really have high hopes for this, but I was pleasantly surprised by the great effort by both men. So, big win for Big E. Great way to start his newfound singles career. So, let's see what happens. I'm intrigued. So, nothing really more to say. MF, let's move on.
Next up we had was Lacey Evans going one-on-one with Naomi. Well, you guys wanted Naomi to get an opportunity, get a chance. She gets the win tonight. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Alright, I'm going to say this. Because I get to lead off on this. Nice win for Naomi. It was a nice match. It was a good victory for her. They still got to build her up. I think we can agree with that. They still got to build her up. I don't mind the rivalry between Lacey and Naomi. I think the rivalry is fine until they can get Naomi away so that she could possibly fight for the SmackDown Women's title, whoever the champion may be, going into that. Because right now it's held by Bayley, but you know, Sasha's in the mix, there's Nikki Cross, there might be Alexa Bliss, there might be some other people. Everybody says, give Naomi an opportunity, give her a chance. Because of what happened to her a couple of weeks ago after she got buried in a match and people flipped. Now she got a big win. Maybe WWE is listening to us. Maybe. And I'm putting that with a huge question mark, because you know WWE likes to play off of the media reaction, social media, whatever. Remember, this was the same thing with Daniel Bryan. They listened to us. The same thing with Kofi Kingston. They listened to us. They gave him the belt. Maybe Naomi might be on the verge. But obviously, I'm prefacing this very carefully, because it's one thing to get wins. It's another thing to build your stock up to a championship level. She's not there yet, but this is at least a step in the correct direction. This is about maybe 2 stars. It was a nice little sprint, but it really was nothing more to talk about. It was more of another cool down match than anything else. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
I gotta say, worst fight of the night here, guys.
I agree.
I'm gonna give it about 1 to 1.5 for the effort. Leaning more towards 1. It was a fine, okay match, but certainly sloppy and massively rushed. It was clear both women were putting more into this, hoping to get people talking. The diving sunset flip would have been impressive, but it did not land. Both women are talented and can do more, but it is difficult to cram enough into a match to make an impact with barely 3 minutes to work. After all the talk about Naomi deserving better, this was no different than much of her booking in the past few years. So, 1 star is my rating for this. Sorry, this was the worst fight of the night for me. So, really nothing more to say. Bullock, wrap it up.
1.5 stars for me. I mean, I agree this was the worst fight of the night. I mean, yeah, nice, but yeah, I mean, I'm with Anthony on this one. This match certainly felt rushed as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah,
It really did not leave me any impressed when it comes to this. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to add. So let's just move on.
All right, and then it leads us into okay. Now we're gonna go very quickly with this. I'd rather not go too much into this. However, it looks like it got really serious. So it started with Mandy Rose. I was in the back telling Otis, that they haven't had a proper date in a while, and she made reservations to his favorite barbecue restaurant. Then teased a little dessert talk. Okay, whoa, easy now. We don't need to go there. That's definitely not PG. But she was getting ready for the date, the whole 9 yards. Sonya Deville comes out and jumps her. Smears lipstick on her face, kicking and yelling at her, trying to make her as ugly. Then it got real serious. She took some scissors and snipped a piece of Mandy Rose's hair off. Then went for the electric razor. Thank God Adam Pearce and the boys showed up and stopped because I think what was about to happen was I think she was going to try to shave the Goldilocks off of Mandy Rose. Sonya Deville has gone too far. This is gotten way out of control. And boys, we have not had a match in a long time. But I'm thinking hair versus hair between Sonya and Mandy. Holy freaking crap. You want to talk about this rivalry going from 0 to 1,000? The gasoline got poured tonight, Anthony Florio. And these two Hellcats, we can't stop these two. Something's got to give.
Man, oh man, on that. I mean, you I don't know what there is to say except you read my mind again. I mean, we talked about this during one of our shows this past week about how you know my mindset so well. That's exactly what I was thinking. When we saw Sonya bring out the razor there, the buzzer, if you will, and perhaps this is very likely going to lead possibly to maybe a hair versus hair match with Mandy and Sonya, perhaps at SummerSlam, maybe. I mean, if you want to you can't put butts in the seats right now, but if you want to get the eyes on the screens, which apparently they've been doing a lot of, since this whole thing started, I mean, that might be the way to do it. I mean, I would love to see it. I mean, Trish and Victoria never went that far. They never, did a hair versus hair. Although Victoria did a hair versus hair with Molly Holly, but that's a different story. But anyways, even though this was a backstage thing, how can we not call this the segment of the night? I mean, even with time away, Sonya Deville is still on the roll of a lifetime. It feels like she can make any segment work at the moment. She sold just how much she hated Mandy Rose, as she used anything she could to humiliate God's greatest creation. The main problem here was the ridiculous idea that Mandy Rose would suddenly become ugly because her hair was cut and she had makeup smeared on her face. While it was certainly a traumatic moment for Mandy Rose, everyone's selling the hair loss like Sonya Deville starred her permanently was absurd. But I think we're going to see that permanent scar situation. MF threw out the idea. I couldn't agree more, MF. I think this is going to lead to a possible hair versus hair match between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Perfect time to do it would be in the SummerSlam, no doubt about it. So, despite this being a backstage segment, this was the segment of the night. Absolutely well done. And, sign me up. I can't wait to see it. I mean, I hope they do it. I mean, I would love to see it. So really nothing more for me to say except Michael Bullock. I think this would be a perfect time to quote the late, great Regis Philbin here. Well, how do you follow that? My gosh.
And it's only appropriate that you pay tribute to Regis Philbin with that. Well done there, Florio. Well done. And let's not forget another thing that you're famous for. So, that happened. Yeah. I guess we could say Sonya Deville has lost her damn mind. Can we all agree with that?
You're preaching to the choir, Reverend. Amen.
Fletch? What do you say? Do you think she's lost her damn mind?
I think she lost her damn mind a long time ago, but it went from, her mindset went from 0 to 1,000, and boys, she's one flew over the cuckoo's nest. She's gone, boys.
I'll say it, guys. I think she's more crazier than Mickie James or Victoria, for gosh sakes.
Whoa, wait a minute, Bullock. I don't know about that.
After what he pulled tonight?
I don't. Yeah, you know what? I'll say this. Mickie James was definitely out there leading into WrestleMania 22.
Oh yeah.
Victoria. Her rivalry with Trish leading into Survivor Series in MSG, that was definite. She was definitely up there. She's definitely out there. There's no doubt about it. But I don't know. If she's been more crazier than Victoria or Mickie James. I kind of have to disagree with you, Berg. It's a partial disagreement.
I think she's in the class with those two. That's all I'm saying.
Is she? I will say this: if she would have buzzed Mandy tonight, if she would have actually did it and actually did take a clump of her hair, buzzed it off on her, then I would have said yes. Then I would have said she's gone too far. And even her just even snipping the hair was a little bit uncalled for. I don't ever remember Victoria used to rip the hair from the girl's head. Like, she didn't use those scissors. She actually used her physical hands to rip bare hand rip hair off the girl.
Yep.
And I'll say this, guys. I'll say this. Good thing she doesn't do my hair, especially with a razor. Because after tonight, if I found out that she was doing my hair by using that razor, forget about it. I would say, you know what? I would hire somebody else to do it, but thank goodness that's not the case here. So
I probably needed her on Monday, man, because that's what I did. I actually buzz cut my hair. If you haven't seen the photos, I definitely would have needed her on Monday. If you were gonna buzz, you could have buzzed me on Mondays, Tanya. I would have paid you $20 for it.
But there's one other thing. There's one other thing, and MF. We bring up the crazy chick thing. Do you still dig the crazy chicks, MF?
You're really gonna put me on the spot on that, Florio. Oh boy. I've had it. No, it's okay. It's okay. I've had a little bit of a love affair with that kind of, yeah. I can't deny it. I've had a thing for for people that has that interesting personalities, outgoing personalities. Just I don't mind someone a little out there.
Yep,
Fair
so
enough. Fair enough.
So I guess the answer to that is still a yes. I mean, because MF used to have a lot of fun with that CM Punk statement when he made that statement to AJ Lee about digging crazy chicks, and I know
and I actually still do believe in that mantra of digging crazy chicks. So yes, I'm still there. I haven't lost that aura yet.
Of course.
Yeah, I'll finish up here. So yeah, I mean a hair versus hair match at SummerSlam with these two. I definitely up for that. So yeah, I mean, and if that match happens, I'm already gonna call it, guys. I mean, I think Sonya's already beaten Mandy twice. I think this is where Mandy's finally gonna get her payback, and let's just say Sonya Deville is gonna lose some hair, maybe a good amount. And can you imagine how she's gonna react when that happens? If you thought she was damn crazy already, she'll lose her freaking mind even more if that happens.
She'll be worse than Molly Holly when Victoria buzzed her at WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, and then I would say everybody better stay out of her way because she will take it out on anybody. So, yeah, definitely sign me up for it. So there's really nothing more to say. So let's just move on, Fletch.
Main event of the evening for the Smackdown Women's title on the line. Bayley versus Nikki Cross. The winner of the bout. And still, the SmackDown Women's Champion was Bayley. She wins in 10 minutes and 20 seconds. And, okay, a lot happened after the match was over. So, Bayley and Sasha, they were celebrating on their way out. Alexa Bliss, who was in the corner of Nikki Cross, tried to console her. The fans gave her a lot of love, gave a lot of Nikki a lot of love in the whole 9 yards. But Nikki was not happy and took it out on Bliss. She pushed her right to the mat and stormed off. I'm gonna say this. Maybe it was passion of the moment. She was so hard set on being SmackDown Women's Champion. She didn't do it. She lost. So frustrations came out. She pushed Alexa to the mat. Maybe no harm, no foul. Maybe something more deeper than that. But then something sinister happened. The lights went out. They turned on, but the lights were red. It was the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and he singled out Alexa Bliss. He got Bliss and put the mandible claw on her and laid her out. Oh man, this is going too far. Anthony Florio. I mean, who leads off on this? Is it you, Florio?
I believe it is.
It's you. All right. So let's talk about the match. And then the Fiend went too far. He literally went too far on this one.
Oh yeah, he certainly did. As far as the match goes, I'm going to give it 3 to 3.25 stars for the effort. It was a solid match, but the two could have used more time. The finish was sudden, and it made it too obvious that Cross was not truly a challenge for Bayley. The drama was lost late in the bout. It'll be interesting to see if there are consequences for the Twisted Sister after losing again and walking out on Alexa. Cross seemed to be teasing that the madness that once gripped her in NXT could take back over. Now, as far as what happens after the match, or what happened after the match, the Fiend attacking Alexa was a shock, but does sell how far Wyatt is willing to go to bring the Universal Champion Braun Strowman out of hiding. The goddess had already been brought into the story during the Wyatt Swamp fight at Extreme Rules. It only makes sense for her to truly play a role in the Fiend's wrath against the monster among men. So 3 to 3.25 stars. I mean, when I saw that this was going to be the main event, I had a few thoughts going into my mind. The first thought that immediately went to my mind was I thought that this was going to be where Alexa Bliss was going to turn on Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss was going to turn heel because there was rumors about that. The other scenario I had in mind was, is Nikki actually going to win the belt here? Even though that was a big fat no for me, but that thought crossed my mind a little bit. And then another thought was, maybe this was where Sasha was going to finally snap on Bayley, but that's obviously not going to happen either. And then I'm like, okay, I saw it was going to go off the air, and I'm like, okay, so that's it? That's all you're going to do? And then when the camera stayed on Alexa and Nikki, I'm like, okay, this is where somebody's going to turn on somebody. I thought it was going to be Alexa and Nikki, but no. Nikki shoved Alexa down, walks off in disgust and frustration, and then I never in my mind had the Fiend getting involved there. I did not think the Fiend was going to show up and do what he did to Alexa, but oh my. So, we're going to get it at SummerSlam. It's going to be the Fiend and Strowman for the Universal Championship. And don't be surprised if the Fiend gets the belt back here. So, oh my. So, there's really nothing more for me to say on this except 3 to 3.25 stars for the match. Third best fight of the night. So, nothing really more to say here except Michael Bullock. Now I'm going to do it. So that happened.
Oh, yeah. It definitely did happen. Now, as far as the match goes, 3 to 3.25, I agree with that. I mean, and then after that, we were all wondering what the heck was going to happen. But Nikki Cross was basically shoving Alexa Bliss down. And like you said, it could be just out of frustration because of the passion that she has, because she really, really wanted to win that SmackDown Women's title. But you bring up another good point. Could that crazy Nikki Cross that we saw with Sanity, could that be coming back? It's a possibility, but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. And then we were like thinking, is this how the show ends? And then all of a sudden the lights went out. And like you said, Fletch, they did come back on, but it was red. And the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, was behind her. And I'm like thinking, oh, shoot. This is not going to end well. I mean, to me, I'll say it, guys. I think Bray Wyatt went way too far with this. I mean, I understand you're trying to like have him bring out Braun Strowman. But there are other ways they could have done it. Maybe just simply scaring her, but for them to actually have him put the mandible claw on her, this was going way too far. Can we all agree with that? I know Fletch already said it, but what about you, Florio?
Yes, absolutely.
Don't you think, Florio, that they should have done, maybe at least scaring her?
Yes. They should have teased a little more.
Yeah, if they had done just that, then I would have been totally fine with it. But actually having them put the mandible claw on Alexa Bliss, that's taking it way too far. But then again, what else would you expect from someone sick and twisted like the Fiend? He shows no mercy for anybody. And I got a feeling come next week, this is going to bring Braun Strowman out, and I think we're going to see a side of Braun Strowman that we haven't seen in a long time. He's usually the guy that likes to have a lot of fun, but you know what I like to say? Fun time's going to be over. He's going to be angry about it. And as the old saying goes, careful what you wish for, the Fiend Bray Wyatt. You want the monster among men, Braun Strowman, that's been dangerous and that was running rampant through when he used to be on Monday Night Raw. If that's what you want, looks like that's what you're gonna get. But like I said, it's not gonna matter because come SummerSlam, when this match does become official, the Fiend's gonna get his Universal title back. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's just
move on.
Yeah, well,
I'm still having nightmares about what I saw.
yeah, and the thing is that was perfectly done, expertly done. I mean, we always knock WWE for questionable booking and everything else, but to put nuclear heat on this rivalry and to do it the way that they did it, bravo. I can't be mad at WWE. I cannot be mad at WWE for what they did. This was expert booking 101. They did an amazing job closing the show and bringing something to the table. I mean, look, they brought the shock and awe, and that's what you need to do. Now I'm thoroughly interested in what Braun's gonna do because we know how close he is with Alexa. Him and Alexa are very good friends. They're very close, and you just messed with literally his best friend, his partner in crime, and that's what Alexa is to Braun. Now I know there was that little chemistry versus the mixed match challenge and everything else, but there is mutual respect. There's a good friendship between the two, and it's like anybody else. You got a best friend in life. It doesn't necessarily have to be a girlfriend, and that's what this is not. This is not boyfriend girlfriend. This is like bestie to bestie. This would be Anthony and your friend. You guys are best friends. You guys are close friends, but there's not that extra element. For me, I got a couple of people like that in my life who I consider best friends who are females, and I would go back to them if they needed my help. This is one of those instances where you just messed with his best friend. You just crossed the line. You wanted the monster. Be careful what you wish for because he's about to destroy you. And you wanted the worst and the evil, the dark end of Braun. I hope you're ready for what's going to happen. Who knows? That Firefly Funhouse might be burning to the ground again. We all remember what happened the last time somebody burnt it to the ground. But we'll see. So, no, this was a red hot way to close SmackDown Live. And to put the cherry on the top of this show, this was a good show. You had 3 good matches, 2 sensible cool-down matches, matches after. You had a good segment outside of the ring with Sonya and Mandy, and the close of the show was wicked red hot. All in all, I could give this about, if we were rating this was 7.5, 8 out of 10. I gotta give this at least 7.5, maybe closer to 8 out of 10, more than anything else, because you had 3 quality matches. You had a quality segment with Mandy and Sonya, and the close of the show was red hot. So you had a great opening, solid middle, a couple of cool down matches which gave us a chance to relax, collect ourselves, and breathe. And then you wrapped it up with something more hotter. And then the close was just absolutely crazy. That was excellently done. I mean, SmackDown Live did really well this week. I can't say nothing bad about it. For the second straight week in a row, this was a solid episode. Anthony, it's yours.
Agreed. 7.5 to 8. That's definitely the correct rating if we were giving one. 3 great matches. AJ and Grand Metalik, they were the fight of the night. Big E and Miz, very surprisingly good match. I really didn't think it was going to be anything special, but man, they brought the effort tonight, and they gave us the sleeper fight of the night. Bayley and Nikki Cross, a solid women's title match there. We did have 2 meh fights, but it is what it is there. The backstage segment with Sonya and Mandy and all that, I mean, that was excellently done. That was the segment of the night right there. And then the way they ended it with the Fiend going after Alexa, I mean, oh man, none of us saw that coming. I mean, I had a feeling something big was going to happen, and oh yeah, that's big right there. That's huge what happened at the end. So yes, it was another great week for all of our shows. I mean, Raw had a great show this week. NXT had another good outing as well, and MF and Smackdown did it again as well. So that's all there is to say on that. And yeah, and MF brought it up. I mean, Edge has done wonders for Monday Night Raw. Daniel Bryan has definitely done wonders for SmackDown, and I don't know. And I have one more little bit of praise I want to give before I give it to Bullock here, and that is, I'm very curious. I'm gonna channel my inner Mean Gene here. I'm very curious. Who's responsible for coming up with the great the great intro at the beginning? Channeling. Making us think about Saturday night's main event. I'm very curious who came up with the opening to have the select superstars cut those little promos a la Saturday night's main event in the 80s and the 90s. I'm very curious who's responsible for that. Whoever that is, I give you all the praise in the world. I very much appreciate that. I love that. I love that nostalgic feel. I always get that Saturday night's main event feel when they do those special intros at the start of the show. So I only wish Raw would have come up with an idea like that. But I'll give SmackDown all the credit in the world, and whoever came up with that opening, I love it. My compliments to you. So 7.5 to 8, no doubt about it. Bullock, put a bow on it.
Yeah, 7.5 to 8 for me. I mean, if we were ranking it, I mean, this was another good show for SmackDown Live. I mean, like you said, 3 good matches. I mean, yeah, there were a couple of meh matches. You got a very good backstage segment here. So, yeah, I think all 3 shows definitely delivered this week. So, hopefully we can keep that momentum going heading into SummerSlam. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So, Fletch, it's yours.
And we're actually done for tonight. So, with that said, what's going to happen now is on Sunday night, around 9:15, 9:30, myself and Michael Bullock, we're going to be working, guys. We're going to be going on the Bruins beat. That's right. For the first time ever, we're going to be recapping the NHL Round Robin Tournament as the Boston Bruins will take on the Philadelphia Flyers on Sunday afternoon at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. This is the first of 3 shows that we're going to be doing. We got this one on Wednesday. We will be covering that game because that one will be against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then, of course, on Anthony's birthday, which I believe is on next Saturday, we will do the 3rd game that will be against the Washington Capitals. Now, as far as the Ranger Roundup goes, Anthony and myself have agreed we will not do the show unless the Rangers makes it through and knocks out the Carolina Panthers. I mean, not Carolina Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm thinking NFL. I apologize. Carolina Hurricanes, and moves on to the actual playoff. So, Sunday night, 9:30 Eastern, will be the Bruins beat, and that's the next time we'll be on the air. Monday night, Ridiculously Raw, that'll be our next wrestling show, and then we got a full slate of stuff coming up next week. Thank you, Anthony Floyo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, as always, for watching this incredible show. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom. share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. And until this Sunday night, so long, everybody, and we will see you on Sunday. Goodbye.